Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening-ish, I guess.
Evening-ish, that's good for me, yeah.
Joining me live in the Xfinity studio, it is Mr. Flyperbole Steve Jaco. Charlie O'Connor will join us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line in just a bit. I don't even...
It's like the thing about this game, I've been thinking about this since it ended. Like, I feel like if this happened at the beginning of the week, I'd be a lot more bummed than I am now.
Yeah.
They've just beaten me down for the past week so bad that now I'm just like, all right, fine.
Like, there's a lot of things in this game I want to discuss, but like the game itself, it's very simple, Steve. This team cannot help but dig itself into a hole and then expend a ton of energy chasing the game just to get it back even again.
It's a bad strategy. It doesn't work.
For the 36th time in 54 games, they allow the first goal. They fall down 2-0 in the opening 7 minutes. If not for a well-timed offside challenge, it would have been 3-0 at first intermission. And guess what? They were a different team in the final 40 minutes of regulation. They looked solid. They played even or better than the Kings the rest of the way. They only gave up 10 shots on goal in the final 40 minutes. But it doesn't matter how well you play in those 40 minutes if you can't at least figure something out in the start of these games. It's getting it's beyond ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous was December. Like, you know, tomorrow's February.
And it was almost a 3-0 hole.
Yeah.
And that's something you forget about in the course of this game because Kuzmenko almost fulfilled the prophecy and scored. That goal was recalled for offside, right? And that goal right there, if they score and they're up 3-0, that could be the backbreaker for the Flyers right there. They do come back in this game. If they hadn't just gotten their butts kicked by the entire Eastern Conference for the past, month of January, then maybe I feel a little bit better about at least getting a point out of this game. I don't care about the point. If they got two, if Konecny scores that overtime goal that went off the post, cool.
Good for him. I'm happy for him. If he does it.
I'm happy for him. He's playing pretty good hockey right now, unlike most of the team. But, it's just one of those games, man. Like, this is a very winnable game. We've said this a lot.
The Kings are not good. They're okay. They're fine. They're as mediocre as the Flyers are, basically.
These are two mediocre teams that had a very mediocre off today. And it was a pretty just fine game of hockey.
Yeah.
I thought Zegras' power play goal was super exciting. I thought in the first period, they didn't score together, but I thought that Zegras, Brink, and Michkov line was a lot of fun, had some great opportunities. Apparently, I was the only one, or at least Rick Tocchet wasn't on board with me, because he did our boy Mish real dirty in this game. And say whatever you will about Michkov's two-way game, blah, blah, blah. I want to see some offense. I want to see some goals. And giving Matvei Michkov, I know Charlie's going to hate this, but I don't care that Charlie's going to hate this. Giving Matvei Michkov 10-21 of ice time in a game that is tied for most of the game is insane. What are you doing, Taco?
Yeah, it's really getting to the point of inexplicable, and we'll get into, I thought that line after last night's disaster was pretty good. I was surprised he kept them together, and then he was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Also, this is an entertainment product. Yeah. Give us something entertaining. This team isn't fun to watch. I watched most of this game, I'm on my phone, like that Tim Robinson sketch where it's this isn't fun hockey. I don't like when you turtle up. Give me Matvei Michkov. Unleash the beast.
But this first period thing, it's puzzling to me, Steve, because it's not even like they're getting killed in first periods. Now they're down 2-0 after the first today. But before today, the first 53 games, they were outscored 49-44 in first periods. All right, they're -5. They're not getting crushed over 53 games. That's not a ton. That's not a huge difference. For comparison, they've been outscored 68-56 in second periods. They're getting killed in the second.
Yeah.
The first, it's just even if you're evening the game up, and there've been, especially, November, December, a ton of games they give up the first and then score the next two. And it's, all right, well, now they're leading, but if you could just figure out a way to not start the game trailing almost immediately, it's never it feels like it's never 12 minutes, 14 minutes into the period either. It's in the first 5.
Do we need to send Gritty into the locker room to psych these guys up? Do we need to get them better coffee? I don't understand. Why are we not ready to go? And it really bothers me. Like today they're playing the Kings in the afternoon. All right, whatever. But like games like Pittsburgh, games like the Islanders, these tough division games, this team doesn't look ready to go out of the gate. And I don't get it. I want to see them psyched up. Is it a preparation thing? Is it a coaching thing? Is it just have to do with the personnel? I don't know, but it's super frustrating because every game you're in a hole, you're expending that energy, as you said. And what I really didn't like today was just how much like the risk-taking stopped once they tied it up.
Yeah.
And that's when you put Michkov on a shelf, and it sucks.
So TK ties the game, in the first 40 seconds of the period? 25 seconds in. And then it kind of felt like we were, let's get a freaking point, boys. Like, that's really what it felt like today. And it did seem as if they were, not that this is, a high-flying offense, but it did just kind of feel like they were risk-averse.
I mean, you look at the time on ice, right? Konecny ends up with 23:59. Of course he does because he is the team's best player right now. He absolutely is. But Christian Dvorak, who I've had a lot less complaints about this Christian Dvorak deal than a lot of the fan base. A lot of the fan base really does not like it. Dvorak's a perfectly cromulent hockey player, to put it in Simpsons terms for you, but he ends up with 23-12. And that just seems like too much time for Christian Dvorak to be on the ice on the night.
Yeah, and that will bring us to today's game changer, driven by Elkin Chevrolet. Elkin Chevy, together, let's drive. It's going to be Travis Konecny. And I wanted to... are we allowed to play that, Bryn? Can we play the comments? So I wanted to go back to last night's game first, because TK is once again like the leader of the offense yesterday, and again he was like basically no one else showed up. His line was very good, nobody else's was at all. And today he scores the game-tying goal. He's been on fire lately. 8 goals, 8 goals in his last 8 games, 13 points in those games. 5th goal in 3 games. He has been on fire. Remember when he couldn't score? He also had an assist on the Zegras power play goal. He got the back and forth cross ice passes started. He's been excellent. He has been the only consistent offensive producer for this team for the entire month of January, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
And last night, it seemed or 2 nights ago, after the Boston game, it seemed like the frustration is just like, damn, man, what can I do? I want to play his post-game comments because he seems defeated.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because they're just trying to... I've been through this so many times. I'm tired of missing the playoffs. That's kind of all I look at right now. I just want to get points for the team, and we need to figure something out.
That's like... It hasn't affected his play, even if he's disappointed, frustrated, whatever. He's missed the playoffs now. If they missed this year, 6 games in a row. That game really did feel like a tipping point the other night where they just couldn't get anything done in that game. Like, 6-3, and it wasn't really that close.
Yeah.
It was... I feel for the guy because he has been a consistent producer for this team for the most part, especially since, a lot of his... help has been stripped away, going back to Drew and all that. Like, he's been their best player for some time, and he's doing all he can. And you have games like the previous 2 where just nobody else shows up. He scores a hat trick. It's their only 3 goals, like, it's just, I feel for him. And today he comes through again. Even if he is defeated, seems to be what he said there. Like, I'm just trying to get some points for this freaking team so I can play in the playoffs for the first time since 2020. He hasn't played in front of a crowd in the playoffs since 2018.
It's wild to me. It is wild to think about. He is so good. He's so good. He's underrated with this fan base sometimes because people will kind of trash him. He got trashed for the first quarter of this season. People were acting like he was the worst player in the world when he was the 2nd best point producer on the team during that time. And you got Trevor Zegras over there who was absolutely crushing it. So I do understand, like, in comparison, why people might think that. But Travis Konecny was having, he was still putting up solid numbers. He always puts up solid numbers, but he's been a really good player. It sucks that he has not played in that time. And he had a fantastic game again today. Plays just a hair under 24 minutes. 3 shots on goal, 5 hits. He's just everywhere. 1 goal, 1 assist. almost didn't get credited with that goal.
It took a long time to change considering how blatant it was. Like there was nothing to look at.
There are so many goals that I look at where I'm like, I could go to either guy based on a deflection. This was one of the most obvious deflections I've ever seen. But hey, I'm sure they want to, bump up Risto's confidence wherever you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, TK rocks. He's a great flyer. He is one of those heart and soul guys. I had no problem when they extended him because he's always been consistent. And again, you can talk about consistency from game to game, but those numbers are consistent and they're consistently good.
His sophomore season, 2017-18, he was a freshly turned 21 in those playoffs. That is the last time he played in front of a crowd in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He is now what? He's almost 29 years old. Like I get, it's nobody's fault. Like there was no crowd in 2020, but like it's still like that's not playoff hockey. You were in the playoffs, but it wasn't playoff atmosphere. It was in freaking August or September, or whatever the hell it was.
I think the thing is like it
wasn't real.
It was real. I needed it, Bill. I needed the hockey.
We all needed it.
I needed it bad.
I was doing post games in my basement by myself at that point.
I talked a lot to you guys. I talked more to the Broad Street hockey people than I talked to my own family during that period of time. But it was and it wasn't. Like it was as far as the competitive edge goes, but as far as like the atmosphere and the crowd, he hasn't had the atmosphere.
And the frustration is building.
Great. And we miss it. We all miss it so much. And of course, all our frustration is building. Yeah. I miss the playoffs desperately. They should have made it a couple years ago. They completely pooped the sheets down the stretch. It was really, really bad. Horrible to watch. And they were doing it earlier this year, but they're still doing the same thing where they had momentum. They were in a spot, and now they're just crumbling. And it's we talked about Sam Ersson on pregame and how much he was a factor in that, but also it's just the whole team. They're just not playing the same. They haven't gotten the same production out of Zegras, he scored today, thankfully. So I think hopefully he's starting to put something together. But overall, the offense isn't good. I don't really like how the coaching is deploying them. They haven't had good solutions for the power play. They'll try new lines, but then play two of the guys a lot more than one of the guys, like stuff like that. And I just think they're kind of a mess, and I really want to see how they regroup coming out of the Olympic break. But the Olympic break can't come soon enough because this is just either bad or boring hockey.
19 days without a Flyers game. I can't wait.
That's heaven. That's heaven right there.
I am so looking forward to it. His 22nd goal of the season ties the game today, does TK's. Unfortunately, on the overtime breakaway, could not quite get that 23rd. Hit his spot too well, ringing it off the post. The horn went off. The crowd went nuts. And
two killer posts.
I could not believe that didn't go in.
The TK one, I actually jumped out of my seat. I was so convinced it hit. And Risto hit a post on a really good shot earlier too.
I honestly felt worse for TK than myself watching the game. I was like, I just wanted him to get it for him because he deserves it.
He's so fired up, and the way he has just taken the team on his back and tried to lead them out of this slump is really admirable, and I just wish somebody else would get on board with him for it.
All right, on the other side, we are going to talk to you about Dan Vladar. We're going to talk about Zegras and Michkov together. But first, we got to take our break. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You know, Bet365 has over 90 million users worldwide. They live stream almost 800,000 events each year. And today, Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 different sports. And with the Bet365 NHL early payout offer, you're a winner. If your team gains a 3-goal lead, you get an instant payout on straight bets, and your parlay selections are marked as winners. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, and we have breaking news from our friends at Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. All you gotta do, sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and in PA. If you or someone who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, listen, we all know the feeling. You walk into a jewelry store, you're trying to pick out something special for your partner, and suddenly you are in over your head. You're thinking, what's the difference between all these diamonds? What if they don't like it? I'm about to spend a bunch of money and I am stressed out. That's why working with Joe and Michelle at Bucci's Jewelry and Design has been such a game changer. From the moment you walk in the door, they treat you like family. There's no pressure, no pushy sales, just people who actually listen. They help you figure out exactly what your partner will love and design a completely custom piece right there in-house. And right now, gold prices are over $5,000 an ounce. So if you've got old jewelry sitting around, Bucci's can help you sell it for cash, refurbish old pieces, or turn it into something brand new. 30 plus years in the game, Philly's #1 jeweler with over 1,000 5-star reviews. So whether you're buying new or turning old gold into something special, visit Bucci's Jewelry and Design at BucciJewelers.com and tell them PHLY sent you. All right, welcome back. Before Charlie joins us on the Xfinity Mobile Call, we don't have him yet, right? No. Okay. I want to talk about Dan Vladar. I didn't think he was good or bad today. I just thought like he was very average goalie, did not face a ton of shots, did not hit the over on saves either. Because
so close, Bill.
Faced 10 shots in the first, and then 10 for the rest of the game. The Flyers did a good job of it was kind of a low event game, really, but they did a good job of preventing high danger chances, I thought, after the first. The first period was, even the overturned goal, it's thank God for it being moderately offside, or there's just Kuzmenko alone in the slot. Like, that's an undefended slot shot from a guy who can shoot it pretty well. And Adrian Kempe, a couple goals. I didn't think he was good or bad. I thought he was just fine.
Yeah, I agree. He was just fine. I was glad to see the bounce back after the first period, because that was a rough first period. The team just not playing great defense around him, and him not playing great goaltending in that. Nobody was really playing well in that stretch, and really, the Flyers getting a point out of this, they should be really grateful about that offsides, because that was the true game changer today. Right there was that offsides that got the goal recalled.
He did make one huge save in the second, though, Steve, with the Flyers, and this is going to be a sidebar about coaching or intelligence, awareness, whatever the hell happened here. Flyers are on a power play. Cody Ceci is in the box, and for some reason, with the power play about to end, the point man, whether he was called to the bench or did it on his own, goes for a change just as the Flyers turned it over. And here comes Cody Ceci out of the box, breakaway. Vladar gets the stop, and Bush pointed out, luckily, he was like, the bad news, they gave up a breakaway. The good news, it's Cody Ceci, and that's basically what it was. But, whether you have possession or not, you can't, as the farthest man back, come off the ice as the penalty's expiring. You just have to have better awareness, whether it's the guys on the bench, whether it's the player himself. It might have been York. I don't remember. But horrible. But at least Vladar did make that stop on a brain fart from whoever.
Too many brain farts on this team. And I really don't know where that comes from. But it's very frustrating. One of the things we talk a lot about when we're just watching the game in the studio is we talk a lot about how these guys miss passes and how they make just bad passes. Just
fumbles. Just unforced fumbles. Amon Green. Unforced fumbles.
Right. Just a lot of unforced fumbles. And that's one of the big frustrations with this team. And a large part of why this team struggled throughout the month of January and why they are proving themselves to be not quite ready for prime time.
I'm going to ask Charlie about this, but I want your opinion. I think the last 2 games before the break should be Alexei Kolosov, so that Vladar gets to go to the Olympics. Definitely, unquestioned, no chance to get hurt. How do you feel about that?
No Rodrigo Abel situation.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have to see if Kolosov makes any saves in those games before we make that kind of decision.
If he does and he doesn't, who cares?
You've
given up. The team has
I got to do post games for at least one of those.
And if we get to say he made 0 saves, that'll be pretty funny.
It's going to be a long game, though.
It will be. Those will be long games if he goes 0 for 12.
Today was okay pace-wise. The other night was actually pretty quick, which was nice. If they're going to lose bad, at least go quick.
Yeah, that's all you can really ask for.
The one thing that's giving me any sort of hope in the world right now is there's a big outdoor game going on in the NCAA right now between Michigan State and Penn State.
I made this a big part of my instant reactions.
And our boy, Porter Martone, is... Now, he's only got a couple assists on the day as far as the points go.
He's +7.
He's been on for all 4 Michigan goals, which is
good stuff.
Awesome stuff, and he just looks fantastic. So if there's one thing to put your hope in, Porter Martone, baby.
And we got to put our hope in something. I choose to put it in Philly's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, joining us on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. Chuck, another loss. They played well in the final 40 minutes of regulation to at least force overtime. But once again, they dig themselves the hole in the first period. What did you think of today's game?
Yeah, they lost this game in the first period. It doesn't take a hockey expert to give that degree of analysis, because in the first period, it was a disaster. And there are a lot of reasons for it. I made the point in my column a few days ago that they're just not good enough. And Rick Tocchet, in his own way, basically said that today, where he's like, we have to play a certain way. We have to play a team game in order to, stay in games against teams that are more talented than they are, because they aren't as talented as most of the teams they play. They've gotten a bit better, but clearly, either the guys they have aren't as good as they're going to get, or the guys they have aren't as good as we hope they're going to be, and they're going to have to go out and get more guys or change up the guys. That's number one. But number two, they were just a discombobulated mess in the entire first period. What's very easy to see when you're up here versus when you're watching on television is just how many times guys are in the neutral zone cheating for offense. And that was happening constantly in the first period. There were a couple shifts in particular where, like, it wasn't just one guy who's hanging out in the neutral zone hoping for a stretch pass. It was two. And you're not going to win games like that. I'm sorry. Like the only way you're going to win games like that is if you're hoping you're going to win 10-9, and that's just not the way it works. And it's not coming from, and I think even Tocchet said this today, like, it's not coming from a bad place. I watch this team. It's not like they're doing it because they're lazy. They're doing it because they want to make up for the fact that suddenly you're down 1-0, you're down 2-0, you've lost 10 out of your last 12, and you want to find ways to help the team. So you're like, hey, just, it's like you're playing a pickup game of football and you're down by 2 touchdowns. So then everybody goes deep. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, I get it. Like, we all want to score touchdowns, but the chances of you completing on a deep pass, probably not that high. It's probably easier to just go down the field slowly but surely. And that was what was happening in the first period. Then I'm sure they had a talking to. Maybe it was from Tocchet, maybe it was from the leaders in between periods. And then the rest of the game, they did a better job. But by the time they got to doing a better job and playing the way they have to play to have a chance to win games, they were already down 2-0. Could have been down 3-0 if that goal doesn't get overturned. And that's why you lose the game. I mean, yeah, they need to be better in overtime. They need to be better at finishing. There are a lot of things they need to be better at. But if you didn't throw away that entire first period, good chance you win this game. They did, so they didn't.
Charlie, I know they have to play a certain way because of their lack of elite talent in order to stay in games, as Rick Tocchet pointed out. Perhaps if you have a line that out-attempts their opponent's 9-5, outshoots them 5-2, out-chances them 6-2, high danger chances 3-0. Perhaps you get that line on the ice in the third period together so they can try to win this thing in regulation, because they have no chance in overtime. We've seen that all season. I think they have one win in the 3-on-3 this year.
I don't think they had possession once in overtime except for
the breakaway. That was the only time they had the puck. Charlie, why can't we just get Michkov on the ice for more than 2.5 minutes in the third period? I'm talking about the Zegras line specifically. They were great after an absolute disaster against Boston. Couldn't believe he kept them together. But they were really good today. Possession numbers, chance numbers, everything. And third period
ends up with 10-21 in the overall game. What was it, 2 minutes in the third period?
Third period, I am seeing the Zegras TK Dvorak line back together instead of rolling with the two lines that have worked in your last two games. Why?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Michkov stuff, it just boils down to a simple thing. He doesn't trust him. And we've been talking about this for the last 2 months. Like, he doesn't trust him. This was a game where he felt like the team needs to win. We got to find a way to win. So he's not going to go with the guy he doesn't trust. Like, that's what it boils down to. Now, if you're talking about why he broke up that line, why, especially over the second half of the game, he moved away from using that line, I can tell you why, because to me, like, it was glaring from up here. It's because of what happened on that third goal that ultimately gets disallowed. I mean, on that play, what happens, and again, it doesn't end up mattering because the goal gets disallowed. On that play, like, you watch the replay, they give up the second goal, they go on, the Zegras line goes out on the ice in the very next shift, and they get the puck deep, the forecheck doesn't work, and then both Zegras and Michkov are just kind of gliding on the back check. And in my mind, that's a mistake. It's not a mistake that justifies breaking up the line the rest of the game, given how much they were buzzing the offensive zone. But for Tocchet, who clearly does not trust Michkov in particular, and he also doesn't trust Zegras at center, as we know, that was enough. Even though it ended up not being a goal that counted, that was probably enough for him to say, yeah, I don't want to see that much anymore, especially in a game where he feels like the problem is that they're not playing good enough defense and good enough cohesively, as opposed to not creating enough. That's why. And then this isn't me endorsing it. This is me telling you that's why, because that was an awful play, and they haven't built up the cachet in his mind to hit for him to absolve them of that play. It's going to be like, oh, I didn't really want to do this anyway, and now I'm not going to stick to it.
I just wish everyone else on the team was held to the same standard. If we could just get that, it would be fantastic. Because the idea that they're the only ones effing up is just a lie. If he believes he believes nonsense. Yeah. And this is just ridiculous at this point. And I've been, for the most part, like, hey man, Misha has to earn the ice time. If he doesn't get it, how can he earn it? How can he ever earn the coach's trust if it's like, no, I'm just gonna play you 2.5 minutes in the third period. And guess what? We're gonna lose in overtime because of it, because we have no chance of scoring the 3-on-3. Oh, the guy with the most goals over the last 4 years for this team in overtime, even though it's only his second year, yeah, I'm never gonna put him out there at that time either.
Fourth line minutes today.
Anyway, Chuck. Travis Konecny continues to set a pretty damn good example. They finally changed that goal over from Risto to his 8th goal in 8 games, 5 in his last 3, scoring at a crazy pace, playing a ton. How you feeling about TK right now?
I mean, I don't know how you can be feeling anything but really good. It's a total bummer that he doesn't finish on that play in 3-on-3 overtime, because that would have just been awesome. Then it's like, man, he's literally just putting the team on his back. And he tried to again today. He scores the deflection goal, the one from the Risto shot, helps us set up the Zegras power play goal. Look, Travis Konecny's playing great. And that's not to say he's been playing perfect. He's making mistakes too, as Travis Konecny does. Like, he even acknowledged after the Boston game, like, he could have done better in coverage on the second goal that Boston scored. Like, it's not like he's playing perfect hockey, but he's never going to play perfect hockey. That's not Travis Konecny. What Travis Konecny does when he's playing well is he more than makes up for his mistakes by just overwhelming the other team with goals and chances and offense. And he's certainly been doing that over this run. And I think really all you can do is you just kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because you know that he's one of the guys who is, and he admitted it after the Boston game, he is starved for the playoffs. He just wants to get back to the playoffs. He's sick of this crap. Just as much as the fans are sick of this crap, he's sick of this crap too. And he's doing all he can to try to end it. And he's just not getting enough support from everybody else. And that includes the coaches. That includes it's not just his teammates, although he certainly could be using more support from his teammates, but he's not getting enough support from anybody. He's the one guy right now who you can say on a nightly basis is bringing it. Yeah, and you're not going to win many games if there's only one guy bringing it, unless that one guy is Connor McDavid.
We were we were just talking about his comments from after the Bruins game. I know you didn't work the Bruins game the other night, but I'm sure you've heard them by now. You see the frustration, and I personally feel for the guy. We were just talking about he hasn't been in actual Stanley Cup playoff hockey atmosphere since his sophomore season, when he was a freshly turned 21 years old. It has been a long, long time since he's had that high, and he deserves it the way he's played. And he's just, like you said, not getting the support. It is very disappointing. Chuck, not that it matters, but Juleson over Andre again. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's such a non-entity to me. Would I rather have Andre in? Sure, because I don't particularly I don't think Juleson's bringing a lot. That said, my guess, and this is, again, you ask me these questions, and it's like I have to then be a stand-in for Rick Tocchet, and then that proceeds to have fans get angry at me because I'm a stand-in for Rick Tocchet. Bill, I don't know why he's starting Noah Juleson over Emil Andre. If I had to guess, I would guess that they're not practicing much, and he feels like Andre, before he's confident enough to get him back in, needs to have a couple practice days. And they're not practicing because they're playing every game because the schedule's crazy. That's my guess. I don't know why, but that's my guess.
I'm just asking for your thoughts on it, Charlie. I know you don't know why.
It's not you. We know.
I know you don't know why.
Well, I have a feeling some people don't realize that it's not me.
I got to tell you, I don't hate the Coots, D'Lo, Hathaway fourth line against the Bruins. 8 shots and 21 hits, 3 shots, 7 hits today. What do you think about Coots getting demoted to 4C? And are you kind of like not hating what you're seeing from that line?
I mean, it hasn't been bad. And like, to me, the demotion to 4C, like it would be one thing if he was getting demoted to 4C and then was getting 8 minutes. Like he skated for 16:29 in this game. So, and he got a lot of ice time in the second half of the game. You know, he was centering Zegras a bunch because they moved Zegras largely back to wings. So it's a demotion, but is it? To me, it's more of like an aesthetic demotion rather than an actual demotion. Couturier, he had a weird game. Honestly, his game was kind of similar to the team as a whole in the sense that in the first period he was bad. He takes a penalty, like I wouldn't quite call it a bad penalty in the sense that it was unnecessary, but it was a bad penalty because he gets beat and then has to take the penalty because he got beat. Like it wasn't one of those, because they've been doing a lot of those stick penalties recently where you're like, you really didn't need to do that. You're in the offensive zone, like maybe like control your stick. Like he probably needed to take that penalty. He wouldn't have needed to take that penalty if he would have stayed inside and not let the guy get around him. Like it's a holding penalty you take because you messed up and then you have to take it. But then I thought in the second period and even in the third, I thought he was pretty good. You know, he probably should have a primary assist because he has a great pass to set up Ristolainen who rings one off the post. Like, and he looked decent. I don't think he's been great, but I didn't think he was awful in the final 40 minutes of this game. Didn't score, so he's still, you know, what is it, like 27 28 games without a goal? Something like that.
Yeah. I think it's 27 games, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in the end, it's not acceptable, just like it's not acceptable that they lost another game today, even though they played pretty well in the second and third. So it's kind of like a microcosm of the team.
Yeah, I just feel like this overall philosophy, especially in the third period, like playing for the loser point is loser, man, especially at this point in the standings. Like, you ain't catching anybody with ties. That's not going to help you. No. And you know who's never going to score again? Sean Couturier. Putting him out there is wasting a shift. Like, if that's going, like, if we need a goal. In certain situations, if you need to win a big faceoff, again, like this fourth line, it's just like this idea that we need to be the most conservative team in order to get to overtime and then lose, but our points percentage goes up a little bit, seems ridiculous to me, but whatever.
It's going great. We're all doing great.
I will say I don't totally agree with that, Bill, because even though I agree with you that right now we cannot reasonably expect Sean Couturier to score goals himself, I don't think his presence on the ice is going to prevent other people from scoring goals, especially because I think he's still doing good stuff in the defensive and neutral zones. Like he can't do anything in the offensive zone, but like I could see a world where like you put him on the ice with Zegras and his presence allows Zegras more opportunities in the offensive zone to score, even if I don't have faith right now that Sean Couturier can do the scoring.
I think on his side of the red line, he is still an effective player, 100%. Now you're in the offensive zone and you're playing 4-on-5. Like that's just what has become the reality of Sean Couturier at this point. Maybe it comes back eventually. Maybe he really, really needs this Olympic break and the final however many games. He looks kind of like the guy we saw a lot of last season and some of the beginning of this year. I just don't see that hope right now.
No.
Charlie, I have this feeling that they need to rest Dan Vladar for these final 2 games to ensure he gets his chance to play in the Olympics and get Alexei Kolosov out there.
No more Abel situations.
How you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if you want them to lose as many games as possible, then sure. And I guess there's a justification for that. They're not going to do that because they want to win games. But I don't think you can have any confidence that if you play Alexei Kolosov or if Sam Ersson recovers from his injury and becomes available, that like if you put one of those guys out there, you're going to have any chance to win games. So I don't think they're going to do it. But hey, I mean, if you've moved to spin the tankathon thing, then yeah, you probably do want to sit Vladar. That's fair.
We're hitting the tankathon for sure. It's happening.
We have. I did it on the night you weren't here, so that you
specifically because you weren't here,
so you wouldn't get annoyed by it.
Hey, Charlie, I just had a quick question. I just wanted to know: do you see any lineup changes happening in these last couple games before the Olympic break? I mean, I know they're trying whatever and seeing what sticks on the wall, but I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like personnel, I don't know how it's going to be because I don't know how long Ersson's going to be out for. Like, he's not on IR.
Yeah.
You sent Lane Peterson down because that was the only way to get Kolosov up without putting Harrison on IR. Now, if Harrison has to be put on IR, do they bring Peterson back up and then, move Zegras off center and back to wing because he played most of this game on wing anyway? Like, maybe. So that would be a lineup change, but that's dependent upon the Harrison situation. As for other lineup changes, like, tomorrow's a day off because they have the Carnival. They practice, I would assume, on Monday. Then they play on Tuesday. That would be a practice day. Maybe you feel more comfortable getting Andre back in after he's got a day of practice on Monday and a day, to just hopefully like turn his brain off and shake hands with fans. Although, honestly, given the way the fans are right now, like, this is a bad time for the Carnival. I don't know if any of these players are going to be coming away from the Carnival feeling real happy, given some of the stuff I bet they're going to be hearing.
I really, really thought like the motivation at first intermission was going to be like someone said, "Hey boys, we got to like meet every fan tomorrow." Like, they paid their $35 to get in. They're not going to hold back. It's usually a very cordial, fun day and people kind of put that stuff behind them. But like, man, this team's just really frustrating right now. Real quick before Stars, Charlie, has anyone said anything about like changing their routine or doing literally anything to figure out how to fix this falling behind every game, coming out 2-0 tonight in the first 7 minutes? Like, are they going to try anything different to maybe be up at the beginning of games?
I mean, if they are, they're not going to tell us what they're going to change in their routine. Like, I'm going to put my right sock on before my left sock today. Like, they're not going to give us that information. Look, Bill, we ask it all the time. Like, why do you guys keep getting off to bad starts? Why do you keep giving up the first goal? Why does it keep feeling like the first period you guys are just willing to light on fire because you think you can come back? The answer is always something to the extent of, hey, if we knew, we'd stop doing it. Like, it's not like they want to be bad in the first period. They just are. And it's happened enough this year that it's a problem. But again, if they knew how to solve the problem, it wouldn't be a problem anymore. They clearly don't know how to solve the problem.
I would just like them to present a potential solution. And then, like, if that doesn't work, be like, all right, we tried something. That's all. All right, it's time for Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars of the game. Charlie, who was star number 3?
Yeah, star number 3, I'm going to go with Trevor Zegras, who, like basically everybody on the team, was far from perfect in this game. But he does score a goal. He was creating offense, finishes with a strong expected goals for percentage of 5-on-5. He's got 20 goals this year. I'm happy for him. Does he need to do more in terms of his all-around game? Yeah, he does. He's not playing as well as he was playing a month ago, to be sure. But, hey, he got on the scoreboard, got them a big goal, and I wouldn't quite call it the turning point goal, but they're down 2-0. He gets them on the board, and it's on the power play. Like, we know how bad this power play has been. So it was a big goal. So good job, Trevor Zegras. 3rd star.
All right. Who was tonight's 2nd star?
2nd star of the game, I'm giving it to the Philadelphia Flyers video coaches because that overturned goal might have been the actual turning point of this game.
Yeah.
In my mind, the turning point actually was whatever they said to each other in between the first and second periods. But if they give up that 3rd goal, like, this game might have ended 7-1. Like, then it might have been over, and then the whole thing just falls off a cliff. Instead, they're able to hang in there. They survive the rest of the first period. They're only down 2-0, even though it felt like they're down 5-0. And then they're able to make a game of it, able to get a point. Like, I think if the video coaches don't recognize that offside, I think this is a regulation loss rather than an overtime loss. So I'm giving it to the video coaches. Good catch. 2nd star of the game.
Absolutely, Chuck. And who was tonight's 1st star?
Yeah, it's Travis Konecny again. I mean, this is kind of becoming a broken record here. He's the one guy on this team that I don't think anyone is mad at. Like, I don't think there is any fan that has been watching this team for the last week and a half, 2 weeks actually, dating back to the Vegas game where he scored both goals unassisted and they win to end the losing streak. Like, I don't think there's anybody that can be dissatisfied with what Travis Konecny is providing. And again, I'm not saying he's been perfect. It's not like he's been immune to making some mistakes, but he's more than outweighing them with all the good things he's doing. He did that again tonight, had a secondary assist on Zegras' goal, really nice cross-ice pass to Brink, and then gets the deflection, game-tying goal to start the 3rd period. Travis Konecny's been great. And again, I feel like it shows how the fact that people feel bad for Travis Konecny
legitimately feel bad for him.
Like, legitimately feel bad for him shows that, like, he's playing this well. Because all fans want to be right now is mad. And with Konecny, it's like, I feel bad for that guy. He's really trying.
When he hit the post in overtime, I didn't even want them to win the game. Honestly, I've moved on to tankathon mode, but I wanted him to get it because like he's the only one doing anything for this team for the last 2 weeks. Like, and he's been their best player basically since they traded Claude Giroux. So like, I would like for him to have success somewhere in life. And he was so close to winning it, but I still believe he was tonight's first star and has been for 2 weeks. All right, that is Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. He will be with me and Kelly tomorrow at that Xfinity Mobile Arena for the Carnival, so tune in with us 11 to 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. See you then, Chuck.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Chuck was...
He was over it.
He did not feel like dealing with me. He's like, you have the tone. I bet you he reads people's comments in my voice. Like, Bill is going to say this to me
They
post-game.
should strip the captaincy
Yeah.
from Couturier
Yeah.
mid-game.
They should fire Talk at 54 games in. All right. Yeah, like that's like it's so ridiculous, some of the comments, but they're great.
They're great. Get those
all
likes
right.
up.
We got to take our second break, then we'll come back and talk about that Zegras line. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win in the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, a BetParx exclusive. You can play blackjack, you can play roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption and 88 Fortune. Play all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are, and new users right now get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. You can even play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, it's time to tell you about Monarch. You know, this April, my wife and I, we are going to Italy for a big wedding for one of our friends, so we have to save up to do it. And Monarch is here to help us. Managing your money doesn't have to be a struggle this year. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It's my go-to for a New Year's financial reset, reviewing spending from over the holidays, setting fresh budgets, and getting ready for 2026 with automated weekly money recaps and tracking progress towards future financial goals. It's easier than ever to stay financially fit in the short and long term. And it's helped users save over $200 per month on average after joining. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code PHLY at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY. Welcome back. It's time for the Unsung Hero presented by Togo. Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute. Togo. 3 guys are going to be the unsung hero. It's going to be the line centered by Trevor Zegras, consisting of Matvei Michkov and Bobby Brink.
Yeah, Matvei Michkov was definitely unsung today, at least by the head coach.
So in the first period, now Charlie is correct. They were at fault on the goal that is eventually overturned for a negligible offside.
You do have to punish guys for being
Stuff
involved
that
in a
didn't
goal
count.
that didn't count. Yeah.
And like, listen, the way they play, if you see the, but like,
You don't put
All
those
right,
three
so
guys
because-
together and go like, well, their defense wasn't good enough. Like,
Yeah,
like we looked at that line. I'm like, they're not going to play defense.
you
That's
put
not
them
what they're there
together,
for.
and then we're like, oh, I didn't like that they were cheating for offense. Like, maybe that's who
geez.
they are.
Can you believe that Trevor Zegras and Matvei Michkov were cheating for offense? That is just so unlike them.
And like, okay, so Matvei Michkov in the first period, all his time is at even strength. He has 6 shifts. So let's say he had one bad one. 5 versus 1, you take that. Like Charlie was just saying, and I feel like we don't need to keep repeating it. Like, it's not to say Travis Konecny's been perfect. Who are these perfect players? Where are these perfect players who never turn the puck over, who never make a mistake, who back check every time? Like, I don't know who they are. Go to NHL.com, hit giveaway leaders. You know who it all is? The best players in the league because they have the puck. And I realize, like, Some non-negotiables might be back checking, and they need to be better, 100%. But in the first period, and because that play doesn't technically count, it never happened because it was offside, these numbers don't reflect that. But even if you put them in there, pretty good. First period, they outshoot the Kings. Shots on goal, 4-0. Attempts, 5-1. Expected goals, 96.77%. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Zegras power play goal to start the second. Not as an exciting second period for that line, but they didn't appear to be in too much defensive jeopardy when they were out there. Only one shot attempt against, one shot attempt for. But for the game, high danger chances, 3-0. Total scoring chances, 6-2. What else are they supposed to do? You have to give them the opportunity to score so they can score. Yeah, it would be great if they scored 2 in the first period and, you can't break them up now. But I think about Gurbenkin the other night. You know how Gurbenkin's first period led to eventually him getting that goal?
Yeah.
You had to keep getting him out there and didn't do a great job of that either. But you saw it coming because he was playing well. You don't score on every good shift. Give them the chance. And that annoyed me tonight. And Michkov specifically, 10:21 total ice time, 2:34 in the third period, and of course no ice shifts. No overtime shifts. So
It was their overtime master last season. I've been pretty patient with it to this point because, yeah, he did come into camp out of shape. And, he plays a risky young game. And, yeah, every night he's not always all the way there. But it's just to the point of absurdity at this point. And getting just slightly more time than Nick Delorier and Garnet Hathaway, it's absurd. It's completely ridiculous. This team needs offense. They need excitement. They need Matvei Michkov. And that was a really exciting first period. They had times where they looked dominant out there offensively. They were doing fun, creative stuff. I want some fun, creative hockey.
Yeah, just give them the chance. That backhand setup, I think it was to Brink that Michkov had in front of the net. Really good stuff there. Brink and Zegras hook up on that power play goal. There's something here if you want to go with it. And the fact that after the disaster that was the Boston game, you kept them together, it was almost like, okay, well, good job, Todd. You're going to see if they can build. It was their first game. It was Zegras' first time since October actually lining up at center. So let's give them another chance. And you did, and it went relatively well for the first 40 minutes. And then you said, nah.
And he was the only one on that line punished for it. He was the only one who got significantly less time. And I just don't understand why that is. Don't get me wrong. I love Trevor Zegras and Bobby Brink. I think Trevor Zegras is an outstanding offensive player, what he brings. But I just don't understand why the differential there and why you can't find time for him. And I'm extremely frustrated with it. It's my number one pain point with Rick Tocchet this season by far.
Do we need to hit a break? Or are we there's 10 minutes left. Okay, we have a little bit of time. I want to talk real quick about these East-West splits. They get a point today, and it's a disappointing loss, but at least they pick something up here. And against the Western, if you are actually in a playoff race, playing for a tie to try to, okay, let's see if we can get the extra one. I don't love it at home, but still, Western Conference opponent, you're not helping someone in direct competition with you to make the playoffs. I can almost understand it. It's crazy, though, they've got all of their points this season against the West. We talked after the Boston game. They've lost 11 straight against Eastern opponents. They are 10-14-6 against the East for a well under 500 points percentage.
Do you think they're predictable?
Against the Western Conference, they're dominating. Even in a loss today, they at least get a point.
I think the teams that have played them know what their playbook is, and they know how to take them down. That's what that says to me.
That is that's very, I think there's something to that. We saw it early in the season. They really didn't know what they were doing, the 18 shots a game, and then they really started to pick it up because there was a stretch of Eastern Conference games where they won 4 or 5 in a row. And it was, okay, they're beating the teams they're in competition with. That's when I start talking. I realize it's insane, but stupid stuff happens in hockey sometimes.
Sure does.
The path to the Eastern Conference Final is not the toughest mountain to climb. Not that they were going to get there, but it was
they were in a good spot.
Possibility.
They were in a good spot. They were in second in the Metro.
And since then, they've won 2 Eastern Conference games.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you end up second in the Metro right now, it looks like you're probably going to have the Penguins and Islanders playing each other in the playoffs.
Not exactly juggernauts.
No. Definitely not juggernauts and beatable teams. And it's just, again, I know this team wasn't going to the Cup. I would have really liked to have seen a playoff push and seen a playoff round that they have a chance to win. Because here's the thing, the COVID year, we talked about how that really was kind of like fake playoffs in a lot of ways. They win a round, but it's kind of a fake round. So when was the last time, like they played the Penguins, right? And they got smoked in that series, even though it went 6, they still got pretty smoked.
The one game was like 10-1 or so. The first game, wasn't it like 7-0?
Yeah. They take the Caps for a pretty good series, but they were underdogs in that one. They take
Giroux
the Rangers
and
to
Ghost
7.
were both injured.
They take the Rangers to 7. They were huge underdogs in that one. So really the last time the Flyers like went into a series and it was like 50-50 if they were going to win was the 2012 Penguins series.
Yeah.
And like then they went to the Devils series that they should have won, and they just were dead.
They just got forechecked to death, and they were all beaten to hell because they just played Royal Rumble for 6 games with the freaking Penguins.
So, it's been 14, almost 15 years since they've gone into a playoff round and they've been either 50-50 or expected to win it.
All right, before I throw it to this break, I want some likes. We are here. You're hearing this history that we all know and have. We're here giving you the content, damn it. So give us that freaking like button. On the other side, we're going to hit Tankathon, and we are going to hit your super chats, but we got to take our final break. Do we really want Matvei Michkov playing goalie? No, it's not worth the risk, time, or money. It doesn't make any sense. You want to keep your stars focused on doing what they do best, and the same goes for your business. Togo can help any business looking to streamline operations become more efficient or unlock more time for their best people. From customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step operational processes, Togo takes it off your plate at a fraction of the cost. And every engagement with Togo starts with free process mapping and engineering. Togo doesn't bill a dime until the real work begins. With programs starting as low as $1,000 a month, you're not going to break the bank. And each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, and US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, you call the plays, we execute. Visit harnesstogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, and stay focused on winning. Togo! If you're like me, you're probably using the month of January to play a little catch-up after the holidays. I know my wife and I are trying to replenish our savings for a wedding we're going to in Italy this spring, and we're always putting extra cash aside for summer trips down the shore. But a lot of people watching made it their New Year's resolution to save more money. Well, if you're looking for a way to grow your savings, you can at TrueMark, because for a limited time, TrueMark Financial is offering a 5-month certificate at 4.1% APY. With a minimum deposit of just $500, it's an easy way to put your money to work. Whether you're saving for an upcoming expense, strengthening your emergency fund, or simply putting extra cash to work, this certificate is a great option. You can open your certificate today at TrueMark.com or by visiting any of their 24 branch locations. Annual percentage yield accurate as of January 9th, 2026 and subject to change. Certificate requires a minimum deposit of $500, federally insured by the NCUA. Visit TrueMark.com for more details. Before we get to everybody's favorite part of the show, I got to tell you what we're doing tomorrow. This is your last chance to get tickets to the Flyers Charities Carnival. It's always a great day for the fan base to get to meet and greet with the team, see them up close and personal. You get so few opportunities to do this. Go out to the Xfinity Mobile Arena, have a great time. It's for great causes. There is no reason not to go to this. And I'm going to be in the dunk tank from 2:45 to 3 p.m. And guess what? A simple general admission ticket gets you the chance to dunk me, because the dunk tank is free this year. So come on out, have a great time, and maybe catch some of our show. We are going to be live right here on the YouTube in the Xfinity Mobile Arena from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. with an awesome lineup of guests. We're going to get to talk to a ton of Flyers executives, former players, JJ. It's going to be really, really cool. As down as we are on the team at this moment, it doesn't matter, because the Carnival's fun and it's cool and it's a good time. Come on out. Go to theflyerscharities.com to get your tickets.
Yeah, it's a great event. The Flyers do such a great job with it every year.
And now, without further ado, it's Tankathon time. That's right.
Tank.
everybody's favorite part of the show, including Charlie O'Connor's. So without further ado, Brenna, spin that wheel!
Tankathon, tankathon, tankathon.
They stay at 10 for the second straight spin. I did it right when we were at commercial
Don't
break.
worry, Bill. They're going to lose plenty more games to keep going down
I
there.
can't imagine a major turnaround, especially like pre-break.
Washington needs the win bad. Ottawa needs the win bad. The Flyers don't. It's simple math.
Yeah, it's. I didn't invent math. I'm just telling you how it works.
Yeah, I was told
All right, let's get to these super chats. Dylan Forster leads it off, says, we've at least cleaned up the power play a bit. We need more ozone time, losing the board battles, giveaways, and horrible protection. Headless chickens. Now, that, especially in the first period, like Charlie was saying, you do see, and JJ pointed this out on the broadcast the other night, they were so good at defending the middle and just like taking away the backdoor stuff and letting the goalie handle stuff on the puck side in the first part of the season. And it's just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like a thing that they were legitimately actually good at has kind of gone away. And I know like for stretches like today, only 10 shots allowed in the final 40 minutes of regulation. That's cool. But I don't know, man. If you have 3 chances right in the middle in the first period, luckily one gets overturned. But you got to clean that up if you're going to give yourself a chance. But we've moved on to Tankathon mode, Steve.
Yeah, but I will
way
agree.
earlier than expected.
The offensive zone just is disgusting. I really hate that they don't get traffic in front of the net. And hey, the only guy who was getting traffic in front of the net got benched for half the game.
I'm so happy Brenna remembered that I said like 2 weeks ago we weren't going to start doing Tankathon until I think it was like January 14th. And I said 2 months. We're going to do it on St. Patty's Day or January 17th, whatever it was. And it lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
because the team went into a horrible spiral.
I was
since
not
then.
expecting an all-out spiral. I'm going to be honest. Maybe that makes me a sucker.
You shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. And I think that's why we're all so, like, just so down in the dumps right now.
I gave them the chance to show me who they were.
You said the 17th. They win that Rangers game. They have the West Coast trip like they do.
Might have been
and
that
if they
bad.
win just 2 games this week, we're maybe not so just like nothing matters, eat Arby's. But here we are.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing Tankathon now, because they've earned it. All right, this one is from Waterfuzz. I like that.
Waterfuzz.
It's obnoxious, but the whining about Michkov time on ice will and should continue. Team needs offense. Fans need entertainment. He needs development and conditioning, and the season is now lost anyway. What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying, bud.
That's why I was like, oh my God, they kept that line together. Way to go, Tocchet, in pregame. Like, okay, if the season is transitioning this way, and we start going, yeah, man, send Lane Peterson down, Coots to 4C, and basically we're playing with 10 top 9 forwards in that, at this point because he's getting those extra shifts. Cool. But we're going to see Zegras at center. We're going to see him playing with Mish. Great. And then 10 minutes tonight.
I've been
What's
really...
the point? Well, I get that you're like trying to win and you want to make him play the right way and everything, but like... let him figure it out, like the way they say they were doing with Jamie Drysdale, who is like 7 more power play points in his time here than me or you. But we're trying to turn him into it. Try to turn Michkov into the player you want him to be by putting him on the ice and letting him do it.
Like, can you believe John Tortorella was a better coach for Matvei Michkov?
The fact that Torts openly said, I don't know how to coach offense, don't know how goals are scored, so I let the guys do whatever the hell they want to do.
And it worked.
Was obviously, and maybe you can't win sustainably that way. If you had like 3 lines and you could deploy 2 of them in a certain way, like
if they
maybe you
had Dan
could.
Vladar last year, maybe they could have. I don't know.
That's a fair point as well.
Maybe not having the league's 3 worst goaltenders might have helped.
We got away from the time on ice thing for a while because it seemed 1, pointless, and 2, I kind of was like,
It
I
got
get
me
it.
today, Bill. It got me today.
For a while, it was like, I sort of get it.
Yeah.
But at this point, let's do what's best for the future of this team because the right now is gone.
When it's 13, 14, 15 minutes, like, that's fine. Like, I can deal with that. 10 minutes is unacceptable.
Yeah,
It's
like-
just like, what are you punishing this guy for? Is there something we don't see? Because this is a player, half the jerseys, I've only been to a couple games this year. Half the jerseys I see in the stands are Michkov jerseys. This is the guy people are here for, and you're giving him 10 minutes, 20 seconds on ice. Ridiculous.
Like if he's just getting middle 6 and like maybe he's on that power play unit with Zegras. Oh yeah, we gotta hit overtime. Yeah, we're going to overtime. Go to allphly.com to finish watching today's show. I was like early for it and then totally forgot in the course of like 35 seconds. Anyway, yeah, like the Michkov thing, it was, it's to the point where it doesn't make sense.
It's absurd.
For a while it did for me. And now, I don't know, man, the season's gone this way.
Let him cook.
If he's getting those middle 6 minutes, you put him on that power play with Zegras, I can live with it for 14, 15 for now. 10, in a game where you scored 2 goals each in the first 40 seconds of a period, and that was it for the whole game. Like, maybe if we score at the 10-minute mark of one of those periods, because that line that was generating a ton of chances gets out there again, we win in regulation. But unfortunately, the coach had other plans.
Had to turtle up, sorry. At one point.
All right. Next one here is from Blinson. Says, early start means nothing. The Kings players' bodies think it's 9:30. No reason the Flyers started slow with that in mind.
Yeah, that was slow every game.
That was I have been and watched enough matinee games. Often both teams are just kind of low energy and need to like wade into the game slowly a little bit. I can accept that excuse when it's just a sloppy game for the first 15 minutes or whatever.
Sure.
Today, the Flyers, the team at home who live in Eastern Coast time, came out terrible. And the team that's been on a road trip and is from the Pacific time zone came out just fine, unaccepting of that excuse for why they started slow today. And also, they have plenty of 7 o'clock puck drops that they start real bad in.
And it's not like the Flyers traveled far this week. They went to Columbus and Boston and came home and had Friday to just rest.
Yeah,
So,
like those are bus trips in the minor leagues.
I don't buy that. I never buy that excuse, but especially today because, like, yeah.
It can just be that kind of game
they
sometimes,
start slow
but
with every
that
game.
wasn't the Kings'
Like,
problem.
This team just can't help but go behind, then try to catch up.
It's just like every goal, like every game, they need 2 instead of 1, because it's basically a point spread. They're playing against a point spread at this point.
When you do this many post games,
I know.
you get to this point where you're just like,
I hate repeating myself this much.
yeah, we repeat ourselves a lot, but it's just the fact that I'm so tired of seeing them go down in these games and have to fight to come back.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible strategy for winning.
They also have, not to say they should start slow, they also have the worst, I think, winning percentage in the league when they do score first.
Yeah.
It's only been 14 times.
If they score a minute in, they're doomed. You might as well just bet the house against them.
They're 8-4-4, I think, when they score first. So or 10-2, I don't know.
But if they score in the first minute, no way they're winning.
Win-loss, they're about 500.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's awesome.
All right, next one here is Michael Grunstrom,
Where's your
0-3-1, wears the wig.
Where is your brother Carl? I miss him.
Yeah, we do. Remember him? He was fun.
I miss Carl
Remember
Grunstrom.
that goal streak?
Nick Delorier, what are you doing?
That penalty he took today.
Free Emil Andre, free Carl Grunstrom.
The D-Lo, when he just doesn't leave the ice and he's over at the Kings bench trying to start a fight. I love the fights. And they're down 2-0. He's trying to get something going. But that penalty, it wasn't even a too many men penalty because Grebenkin sees him, jumps back on, nowhere near the play. Refs let that go all the time. That was a D-Lo, we're not dealing with this right now penalty.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one here is justified EDC. Talk doesn't trust Michkov. Oh my God, I don't care. What do we have to lose at this point? That's how I feel. I got it. And if this team was going to make the push I thought that we were capable of, I could live with it because I don't think it's ultimately going to stop him from being the player he's going to eventually be. But now the team has flushed that part of what this season could have been about down. Time to transition.
He's not locking up the arena at night. Just let him score some goals.
Yeah, it's truly insane at this point. All right, next one here is from, I don't know, Gernmintamin.
Grumman.
If Flyers won't tank, trade away anyone who won't be here in Matvei Michkov's and Martone's prime for guys who may be 1C and 1D, Tippett, TK, Dvorak, TK for Hagens. That's just a bunch of stuff there. Not really a sentence.
I would love to trade for 1C. Let's go get Robert
That's
Thomas
the one
today.
thing about selling this idea of selling at the deadline, like, yeah, man, if you could trade Delorier or something like
or
sure.
Ristolainen.
Yeah, if anyone takes Risto, great, thanks, dummy.
I'll trade Ristolainen for a 6th at this point.
He made some plays today, but yeah, obviously.
I don't care. I'm tired of talking
I just don't want to be paying him $5 million.
He has hit the frost zone
Yes.
of I am so tired of talking about him. But yeah, like I would love to trade for a center. I would make a hockey trade 100%.
If you can trade a Delorier, a Hathaway for late picks, whatever, sure, cool. Open up those spots for minor league guys to come up and get a shot on the fourth line, whatever.
But go get me Robert Thomas.
Selling at the deadline is not something I'm interested in because I want to. If they're going to trade some of these pieces, I want it to be in service of making the team better in hockey trades.
Hockey trade.
A Lupul, Spiza, and picks for Pronger style trade. Not, we got some stuff and maybe we can turn those assets. No, I want players
Hockey
and prospects.
trade. I want to make
point.
the playoffs next year. I'm tired.
All right. And our Park says, Bill, why is this happening?
I don't know, Richard
Because
Park,
the
why
hockey
is it
gods
happening?
hate us. I don't know. I wish again, like Charlie
If Richard
says.
Park was playing, we'd be better.
We would be.
Yeah.
Like Charlie says, if I knew why, I'd be in charge.
Yeah.
All right. And finally from JH, oof, ouch, damn, ow. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. I feel like a sucker for believing in them, but I wanted to give them the opportunity to show us they were different this year.
We're trusting people.
And I do think that, like I said the other night, that doing the rebuild this way, maybe there is something to, all right, we've put this group together, we're done the subtraction phase, and now it's what do we need to rearrange and what of these pieces can we actually trade in hockey trades to find the things we need. That is a fine way to go about this season, but it doesn't make watching the games right now any easier.
No.
And that's part of our frustration. Like, winning is probably, or losing is probably better. But I'm so tired of it. Like Travis Konecny, man. Like, I've been here longer than he has, you know?
Yeah.
Much, much longer.
We have been here a long time, and it's old, man. It's old. I want to see some wins. I want to see some playoff games. I'm so tired of this.
All right. And that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, follow us on the YouTube page right here, PHLY Sports. Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. for our Carnival special live from the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. Follow the podcast as well. And listen to Flyperbole, because Broad Street Hockey and Flyperbole are great as well.
New one yesterday.
New Flyperbole for you to catch up on, because who doesn't want to hear more about this team?
Yeah.
All right. I am Bill Matz. That is Steve Jaco. I almost called you Charlie. Thank you as always
Couldn't
to
be
Brenna.
further.
Thank you as always to Brenna. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.